Most programmers do this mistake of not understanding what these lines are actually doing. And all of these things are so important in building projects at industry level. Watch this entire video to understand the meaning and purpose of all these lines of code. This video is divided into two sections. In the first section, we will understand the structure of our program, and in the second section, we will code it all to run our first C++ program that will display a welcome message along with your name on the screen. Therefore, let's learn the structure and code your first C++ program. Hashtag include IOStream. IOStream is a library and hashtag include is a preprocessor directive that gives instructions to include a library in our program. Let's understand what is library, why we need them, and what is their purpose. A library is like a collection of a lot of reusable code for similar functionalities. It is not wrong to say that library is like a toolbox with a lot of tools inside it. For example, in library about math operations, you will find dozens of maths related functionalities such as finding sine, cosine, power, square root of a number. So these functionalities are like tools inside toolbox, and that toolbox is called library. You must be wondering that why do we need already written code? Why can't we just write it ourselves as we want to be best programmer, right? Well, even writing a simple cout statement for printing, it would need around 10,000 lines of code. Now, listen carefully. Our main goal behind learning programming is not to spend our lifetime in learning the basics which are already done before. Our goal is to use them in a way to solve various problems. For example, if you want to use a refrigerator, you will not start building it from scratch and spend years in learning how to make it. You will simply buy it and start using it to freeze the stuff, right? Now, when it comes to programming, you don't have to spend money in purchasing the libraries. It is already available for free. You just have to use it to solve your problems. That's why we import the libraries in our program. This helps us use all the functions inside the libraries. Some major libraries include IOStream, CMath, and CString. IOStream is used for input-output operations like cin, cout. CMath is used for mathematical operations like square root and exponent, etc. CString is used for operations related to strings, such as finding length of a string or comparing two strings. Using namespace std, let's imagine a scenario that there are two students sitting in a classroom with same name. Now, how can you differentiate between them with their family name, right? Same happens in coding. When we import multiple libraries, there are chances that maybe two variables or functions are having same name. By the way, don't stress about functions. We will see them in upcoming videos. Now, when our compiler tries to translate the code, it gets confused as there are two different variables or functions with the same name, and it causes an error. That is why we use family name in C++, which are called namespace. Namespace in C++ is like a feature that holds inside it variables and functions in order to avoid naming conflicts. STD is a standard namespace in which there are basic functions of some major libraries. These functions include cin, cout, etc. By declaring using namespace std, we are telling the compiler that we want to use these functions without prefixing them with std every time. For beginners, that's enough knowledge you need for namespace std. You will not use any other namespace most probably, but if you want to have deep knowledge about namespaces with examples, you can watch the other video on namespaces after this video. Let's go to int main. Int main is our main function and it is the starting point of our program. This is the place where we write the code itself. Every time you run the program, it will start running from the main function. Int before main indicates that we are going to return an integer value at the end of our program. We return 0 at the end, and return 0 tells our operating system that the code has been executed successfully. Now you should know that our code mainly run inside main function. Means that whether we have to use variables, loops, arrays, etc., we use them in main function. Or if we have extra functions, we call them from main function directly or indirectly. We will see these things in future. And now finally, let's see this cout. Cout stands for character output and it is used for printing something on the terminal or console. So that's it for our code. And now let's write it manually and try to run it. In order to include a library, we will write hashtag and then include. Alright, and after writing hashtag include, inside these angle brackets, we will write the name of library, which we have to import or include. Here we will import iostream. Alright, and using the same syntax of hashtag include, we can import any library. For example, if we want to import cmath, we will write hashtag include cmath. Alright, and you can put space between this or not, it's optional, but it will not give syntax error. The next thing from here was using namespace std. But before writing this namespace, we will try to run it without using namespace. We will start writing main function and then we will write these curly braces, and at the end of main function we have to return 0 to our operating system, right? So here if we want to cout hello world, here it would give us syntax error. As you can see that cout was not declared in this scope. So there are two methods of declaring. Either we can write std double colon. This way it will work also. But this is like extra step which we'll have to do every single time we have to cout or cin. By the way, cout is for printing, right? So for example, if we have to cout how are you, and again it would give us error even though we wrote it first time. But no, as the statement terminated, as the statement ended using this semicolon, then next time we will have to write std double colon again, and these double colons stand for scope resolution operator. Look, here it's working. Here we don't want to repeat these extra steps. That's why we will just write using namespace std, and after that we will remove this and this as well. And now we will run it and it will work. Look, exact same output, no difference at all. The things we wrote here, it came exactly as it is. Finally, last but not the least, let's write a program in which we will display a welcome message to the user. First of all, for that program, we will write string variable with user name. Here we have declared the variable. In the next line, we can assign the value inside this name, which is the name of the user. For instance, let's write James and then semicolon once again. And you don't have to do this mistake of missing semicolon. This is the most common mistakes among beginners. I also used to do this a lot. So you have to be careful. At the end, we will just see out welcome and then user name. Here we will run it and see. It's displaying a welcome message saying that welcome James. In the next video, we will learn about cout and cin. And if you don't understand about data types or variables well, then I would suggest that you should watch my previous video about variables. That video will clear your concepts. That's it. Thank you for watching. I hope that this video made you understand the concept of the structure of our C++ program. This is the beginning. This is just the start. And in the future, you will build huge projects, but the basics would be same. So if you have understood this well, then congratulations. And if you didn't, you can go back again and you can rewatch or you can comment also. See you in next video and thank you for watching. Subscribe to Neurocode.